guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have swatches for you from the July 2020 release from Don Deeva. All of these are available right now, so in the description box below I will link the Don Deeva site, I will link their Instagram page, and I will link my Instagram page where you can see more swatches of everything from this release. I didn't count, but I think there are 15 polishes to look at today, so let's go ahead and get started. So first we have Cancer AF, and this is described as a squishy, dancing red jelly full of shifty flakes. So here's our first coat of Cancer AF. I am doing the one nail swatches for this collection. I didn't want to have to film it twice with such a quick turnaround time, but Cancer AF has a beautiful, easy to work with formula. I did get this one opaque in 3 coats. If you're not super picky, you could probably get away with 2. You'll definitely want top coat to finish this off because it does dry a little bit dull and some of these flakes can dry with some texture, but nothing is difficult to remove, so there is 3 coats. Up next we have Ruby, and this is described as shades of red micro glitters mixed with scattered hollow and hollow flakes. So here's our first coat of Ruby. This covers really well here on this first coat. I'm going to show you 2 coats for full opacity. You could sponge this one on if you wanted to. I don't think it's necessary though. This is going to dry with some seriously intense texture because it's all glitter, and you will definitely want top coat for that reason, and removal is going to be very difficult, so there is 2 coats. Next up we have Sloe and hairpins, and this is described as a thermal that goes from a terracotta orange to yellow to peach with various glitters to get your nose tingling. So here's our first coat of Sloe and hairpins. This does cover pretty well here on this first coat. You get a good amount of glitter out. You don't have to do much manipulation to spread them out. They're all relatively small. Formula is easy to work with. I didn't have any running, pooling, or staining. I got this one opaque in 3 coats. Again, if you're not super picky, you could probably get away with 2. This does have glitter, so it is going to dry textured, so you'll definitely want top coat for that reason, and removal will be difficult because, again, it is glitter. So there's 3 coats. Up next we have Toxic Limes, and this is described as a neon green that's UV reactive, full of shifty pigment and ultra chrome chameleon flakies. So here's our first coat of Toxic Limes, and immediately on the nail this one shines. It is bright, it is bold, it is summer. Formula is very smooth and easy to work with. You don't need a white base to get this one to pop off your nail. It's very neon by itself. It does take 3 coats to build up to opacity. It will dry with the slightest bit of texture, so you will want top coat, but removal was easy, so there is 3 coats. Up next we have Psychedelic Willy, and this is described as a powder blue jelly loaded with heaps of various shifty hexes and hollow flakes. So here's our first coat of Psychedelic Willy. I am going to show you what 3 coats of this looks like on its own today. Most people it wouldn't reach full opacity on by itself, so I'm also going to show you what it looks like as a topper over black and white. This is an outstandingly beautiful polish on its own as a topper, absolutely gorgeous any way you want to wear it. Formula is very smooth as well, no running, pooling, or staining. The glitters spread out nice and evenly. I would recommend using a thicker glitter eating top coat for this one. It does dry with some pretty intense texture, and removal is going to be pretty difficult on this one, but depending on what you put it over, it transforms the polish gorgeously. So see here over the white, it does kind of look like it's blue. Absolutely beautiful. So there's 1 and 3 coats. Next up we have Nerf Guns and Messy Buns, and this is described as a thermal that goes from a deep blue to a nude pink. This also has a load of unicorn sister pigment that pulls a strong blue shift. So here's our first coat of Nerf Guns and Messy Buns. Formula is, again, very smooth and easy to work with, no running, pooling, or staining. The shimmer that's in here stands out gorgeously. I don't know what it is since I've moved though. I can't capture a shifty shimmer, so I am working on that as we speak. This one does cover completely in 2 coats. It transitions very easily to this gorgeous rosy pink, so there is 2 coats. Next up we have Morgana Seaweed 2.0, and this is described as a deep sea blurple hollow with a cloak of hollow flakes and an undertow of added pretties. Here is our first coat of Morgana Seaweed 2.0. This one does cover really well here on this first coat. I didn't have running, pulling, or staining, but this is a kind of color that does tend to stain, so I would recommend using a base coat. This is going to dry on the dull side, so I do suggest using a top coat as well, and it's easy to remove, so there is 2 coats. Up next we have Vodka Flask and Face Mask, and this is described as a solar that goes from a romantic lavender indoors and an eggplant purple in the sun. This also has ultra chrome chameleon flakies and unicorn pea pigment. Here's our first coat of Vodka Flask and Face Mask. This has a smooth formula. It's a little bit on the sheer, so I am going to go ahead and build this one up. This does change with color, so you'll see I will cut, it changes with the sun, so I will cut to show the sunshine color, but this is opaque in 2 coats. You will want top coat, and removal is easy, and this is what it looks like in the sun. Next up we have Diet Hola, and this is described as a trithermal that goes from a spicy black cherry in its cold state to a dusty lilac and then a smoky beige in its warm state. This also has ultra chrome chameleon flakies and fire shifts. Here's our first coat of Diet Hola. Now this one is on the sheer side. I find most thermals, especially the darker ones with the added elements, do tend to be more sheer. Formula though is very smooth and easy to work with. It was changing on me as I was applying it. I finally have an entire room to myself that I can block off from the rest of the house, so I do keep it a little bit warmer in here because I'm always freezing. This is completely opaque in 3 coats. The flakes that are in here stand out beautifully. You will want top coat because it dries dull, but removal is easy. So there is 3 coats. Up next we have Picnics and Pyrotechnics, and this is described as a celebration of red, blue, and silver microglitters with silver hollow, all on a deep black jelly base. Here's our first coat of Picnics and Pyrotechnics. Formula is amazing on this one. You get a great amount of glitter out. You don't have to work to spread them out evenly. It covers completely in 2 coats. It is all glitter, so you'll definitely want top coat, maybe 2 coats of top coat depending on how thick it is, and removal is difficult. Up next we have Ursula Seaweed 2.0, and this is described as a glorious purple hollow with flotsam and hollow flake and jetsam of subtle ultra chrome chameleon flakes running throughout. Here's our first coat of Ursula Seaweed 2.0. This is such a rich, beautiful shade of purple. I do thoroughly enjoy this one on my nails. Formula is super easy to work with. I got it completely opaque in 2 coats. It does dry on the dull side, so you'll want top coat, but nothing that 1 coat of a top coat shouldn't handle, and removal is easy. Next up we have Dark Star, and this is described as a beautiful purple jelly featuring a celestial mix of various colored ultra chrome chameleon flakies. So here's our first coat of Dark Star. This one is on the sheer side. It's in a jelly base to help those flakes stand out so gorgeously against this deep purple base color. It does build up nicely, and the flakes that are in here spread out very evenly across the nail. This could be gorgeous as a topper. Imagine it over Ursula Seaweed 2.0. That'd be such a gorgeous combination. You will want top coat because it dries dull, and removal is easy. Up next, I'm not going to say the name of this one. It'll be on the screen, but this is described as a delicate pink polish with a shifting blue pigment. So you know the name of this one, but here's our first coat of Hoo-Ha's Galore. Formula is very smooth, easy to work with, no running, pulling, or staining. It is a little bit sheer and a little bit streaky, so I am going to build this one up in 3 coats today. If you work a little bit thicker, you could probably manage to get this one opaque in 2. You'll want top coat to finish this off because it does dry on the dull side, but removal of this one is going to be easy, and the shimmer in here is stunning. So there is 3 coats. And lastly for today we have Communion of Sinners, and this is described as a milky moonstone white with shifts of violet to blue. And here's our first coat of Communion of Sinners. This one has a gorgeous formula to work with. I love whites that have added elements to them. The shimmer in this is subtle, but it's strong at the same time, just depending on your lighting source. This one I do find shines best in like typical indoor lighting, not my under the camera lighting. This is going to dry on the dull side, so you will want top coat and it'll help that shimmer out, but removal of this one is easy, so there is 3 coats. So I did have 3 standouts this month. The first one is very obviously Toxic Limes. I love this shade of green. I love all shades of green, but like this is my bread and butter right here of greens. The flakes are beautiful. It glows in the dark. It is stunning. And then, get it? Psychedelic Willy. I have literally had dreams about this polish since I first saw it. I wasn't going to be able to swatch it right away, but Dana was so kind to send it to me anyway, and it's beautiful as a topper. It's beautiful on its own, so I love, love, love Psychedelic Willy. And then a surprise favorite for me is Morgana Seaweed 2.0. The darker blue is stunning. It's got a beautiful formula. Everything about it is absolutely gorgeous. So those were the 3 standouts in this release for me. And guys, that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of these polishes. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up and what was your favorite, or if you've already grabbed some, let me know. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time.